Hi, I'm Willie, and I don't know if anyone has made a video on this yet, but I wanted to do a video on how to calculate damage taking defense and special defense into account in Pokemon Unite. Main reason I wanted to do this was because, for items like Focus Band that add defense and special defense, like how do you know how much damage you're mitigating from 20 defense, you know? So yeah, that's why I want to make this video, and let's just get into it. The resources that we'll be using are Unite DB, the website, where you can get all the stats for various Pokemon, and Cerebi also has Unite, a Unite section and the Unite stats here. The things that Cerebi does not have, though, are the crit rate, CDR lifesteal columns, and then also when you go to abilities, you'll have equations that help you calculate the damage for specific abilities. Cerebi does not have these things yet. So anyway, let's start with our main equation. We're going to be using this for pretty much everything. Final damage is equal to raw damage times 600 divided by 600 plus defense or special defense, depending on what kind of attack you're defending against. So if you're defending against physical attacks, then you would go with the defense stat for the defender, and then if you're going against special attack, then you would use the special defense stat. And all of this is going to be floored. And what this means is essentially eliminating all the decimals. So, for example, floor of 14.9 is just going to equal 14. Like, you just get rid of the decimal. Okay, so let's just hop into a custom game and test this equation out. I mean, just to see if it actually works. We're going to be using Pikachu as our attacker with no items. And the person defending is going to be Snorlax, also with no items. And we'll do a calculation for an auto attack, which is the basic attack. And our ability calculation will be with Electro Web. By the way, the person testing with us in this custom game is my wife. So say hi to my wife. Hi. She can't hear you. This is all pre-recorded footage. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do level 4. So we go to Unite DB. We look at Pikachu's stats at level 4. Let's write some numbers down. So with these numbers, we can calculate how much damage an auto attack is going to do to Snorlax. Pull up the calculator. If you remember our equation, it's going to be 600 divided by 600 plus the defense, because we're doing the auto attack first. So 600 plus 154 is going to be 754. Now you multiply this by the quote-unquote raw damage from Pikachu's auto attack, which is going to be 153. So you should expect the auto attack to do 121 because this we apply the floor function, so we just ignore the decimals. Now what about the Electro Web? For the Electro Web, we go to abilities. You'll see that each ability has its own equation for calculating the raw damage output. 11 times level minus 1 at level 4, that's going to be 11 times 3, so 33 plus 350 is going to give you 383. And we want to add that to 36% of Pikachu's special attack at level 4. So we'll do 36% of special attack, 156. Now we add that 383 to it, and there is the raw damage. And a note for these equations, you're also going to floor the results for these. So our raw damage is going to come out to 439. So let's go back to Snorlax and look at his special defense at level 4. It's 106. So we use our equation. 600 divided by 600 plus 106 is going to be 706. Then you're going to multiply by the raw damage from Electro Web, or 39. So you would expect, or we should see, Electro Web doing 373 damage. So we see from the footage that the auto attacks do 121, like we predicted, and Electro Web does 373. Wow. These equations work. You can try them for yourselves in custom games. One thing to note is that you do have to use custom games. You cannot use bot games for these calculations because bots actually have lower stats in general compared to players. So you'll see at level 4, instead of doing 121 damage, I do 123 damage. So 2 more damage. And instead of doing 373 with Electro Web, I do 376. So it's slightly more damage to bots. To be honest, I do not know what the formula is for bots. Like, I don't know what the factor is for the decreased stats for bots. If anybody knows, feel free to leave a comment, let me know. But honestly, for me, it's not that big of a deal because when we're calculating these things, we're trying to figure out how much damage we do in actual games against real people, not against bots. So yeah, let's move on to another example at level 11. And at level 11, we don't have Electro Web anymore, so we've switched to Electro Ball Plus. Now, if you look at Pikachu's Electro Ball damage, there's actually a second number there. It's a 39 that pops up right after the 955. And that's because if you look at Electro Ball's description here, there's actually a second component of damage, 5% of enemy missing HP. So this right here, the calculation for this is going to be a little bit different, and I'll give an example through some other clips at lower levels. Okay, so we're hopping into another custom game, but now we are back at level 5. Pikachu versus Snorlax, and we're looking at Electro Ball at level 5. So at level 5, we're using these two equations here. So let's look at Pikachu's special attack stat at level 5. Special attack. It's going to be 199. And Snorlax's special defense, 122. So first, we calculate Electro Ball's, I guess, the first component of the raw damage. So we got 25 times 5 minus 1 is 100, plus 530 is 630. We have 66% of 199, plus that's 630. And this is the raw damage output of Electro Ball, the first component of it at level 5. Now we factor in Snorlax's special defense, so 600 divided by 722. Now we multiply by the raw damage, and we get 632. It's the damage output, the first component of the damage for Electro Ball. So now what we want is this 4% of enemy missing HP part. Now, because this component is based off of HP, the game actually averages the defending Pokemon's defense and special defense stats. So even though this is Electro Ball is a special attack skill, and even though Pikachu is a special attacker, for percentage health components of damage, we use the average of the defender's defense and special defense. So in this case, that average is going to be 177 plus 122 divide by 2. 49.5, we're going to floor this, so it's just going to be 149. So I'm going to put a 149 here so that you know. And now we're looking at 4% of the enemy's missing HP. So we filmed this clip when Snorlax was at full HP, so we know that the HP that's missing is just going to be that 632 that we did right before this second component. So the missing HP is 632. 632 times 0.04, that's 4% of it. 25, we're going to floor this. So the raw damage from this execute portion of Electro Ball is 25. Now we need to take into account the enemy's defenses. So we use our same formula, except now we're using the average of the defense and special defense stats. So 600 divided by 600 plus 149. So that's 749. And now we multiply that by 25. And we get 20. So the second component of Electro Ball at level 5 against a full HP Snorlax, also at level 5, will be 20 damage. And we see that the tiny number right next to 632 is 20. Now, say we want to use Electro Ball a second time, then instead of having just 632 HP missing, Snorlax is going to have an additional 632 HP missing because you're using Electro Ball a second time, plus, you know, the 20 health missing from the first Electro Ball. And because it's 4% of enemy missing HP, that number is going to keep increasing the more you do it. Just know that Pokemon do have passive HP regen, so every 5 seconds, Pokemon will naturally recover a little bit of HP. So, you know, your missing health estimation is going to be off as time goes on, you know, unless you take into account the health regen from the Pokemon. Honestly, this is not really a big deal. It's only going to be off by like, you know, 1 or 2. And realistically, like, you don't even need these calculations to be that accurate because it's not like you're going to whip out a calculator in the middle of a fight, you know, in front of Zapdos and try to calculate the optimal damage like right before you press your buttons or whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, so some final thoughts. If you're wondering how crit damage plays into this, it's basically just the final damage of your auto attack and then you multiply it by 2. And that's going to be how much damage you'll do if you crit. And the same thing's going to happen for skills or abilities that crit. It's just the final damage multiplied by 2. And that's going to do it for this video. All of the resources, the links to the resources, UniteDB, Cerebi, are going to be in the description down below. The equation that we used throughout this video for calculating damage, I got that from the Unite Math Cord Discord server. So I'll also put that down in the description. And yeah, just let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, feedback, questions. You can also find me on Twitch. I started streaming recently, like a week ago. So if you want to catch me there, you're not going to have many people to compete against for my attention. So you can find me on Twitch. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.